Alright, so for this video, we're gonna be covering Herring Joker, the Joaquin Phoenix sculpt. The makeup's actually a lot easier to do than the Heath Ledger, and the hair seems like it'll be easier too. The only problem is finding the right color. I did find that it's a little dark. We'll see what we can do to lighten it up after we apply it. But anything else I found was too light. I mean, you can try dyeing it or blonde, but I feel it's hard to get all the way through the hair. For this deep of a green and how green it is compared to like a ledger, we can brush in some color. So I'm going to be trying this Hunter Green. This is from eBay seller Morsey. So we got the hair, the glue, the Beacon 3-in-1 I've been getting some questions about lately. We'll use rocket glue for towards the hairline. So that's pretty much all the supplies. Toothpicks, scissors, some smaller scissors. So we'll get started. I'm gonna go ahead and cut my hair off first. Probably and I usually like to face it this way, and then I'll start at this end. I'll flip it and lay it that way. Actually, let's go this way just so I can see better. We'll save the other pieces that we don't cut off. We might be able to use them for the top where it's straighter. We'll see how it works, but just getting it ready. Like so. And this ensures that you'll get the most for your money as far as the hair that you get off the thing. If you just go through cutting them, you'll cut off, like if you just took this and cut them off, you'll be cutting off some shorter ones, and some down here and some of the longer ones up here, so this will help you. This hair seems to have just the right amount of curl. It's not too curly like Ledger Joker hair, but it's got a little twirl to it at the ends, which is good. In the back, we might have to use our small curling iron as well to get the hair to mimic the flow that it has in the movie. But sometimes you can just brush it and style it and let it dry, and it'll stay. So we'll see. And usually it'll take 2 to 3 of these to hair the entire head. Okay, so now that we got those cut, then I'll be applying the glue over on this side, using the toothpicks, smearing in the hair. You'll see how that goes. I'll do a couple out far away so you can see what I'm doing. And for the back, just take a clump like this, line it up, kind of see how long we want it to be. We want it to come down just below his chin, about right here. So we'll take that, line it up with our fingers, cut that piece off, set our straight pieces to the side, hang on to those. Let's lay some glue out here. It's in a thin strip. And then we'll take our hair, dip the edge in, get some glue on it. Stick that on the sculpt. Like so. Alright, now I'll show you the close-up. For those of you that have seen these videos before, nothing new here. And I'm going to go right next to that one. Save our straight pieces. Grab another bundle of hairs. I mean, you can have some longer ones in them. We're going to cut them off, but try to arrange them so that they're all around the same length. Take these and set them over here so they don't get blown into the dust. Arranging the hairs. Work some glue onto the edge of the hair. Spread it up like so. Take a look at it from the front. looking good. And we'll go almost just above this row to give it some more volume, because that's where it's going to be like the thickest in the back. I've just found that it helps to double up the thickness in the back for these, and like Rick Grimes, almost, any long hair kind of sculpt like this. Most of them. So we'll use more hair down here, and then towards the middle of the head, you can, with those longer layers, it'll cover more, so you don't have to use as much hair. Alright, so just above that layer we already did, do another one. Trying to thicken up these clumps too, like than I normally do. Add a little bit more hair to them. Keeping about ½ inch long. Get a look from the front. See how the thickness is looking. And then you can take some of these pieces that you just cut off that have some curl to them, and we'll take those, line them up, and we can mix these in too. Do this right above. The row we just did. Mix in another one of these pieces of the cutoff part. do one more in the back here. I glue also, but one more should fill it in pretty nicely. Trim off some of these extra long ones. Trying to cut up into the hair. Slick that back, kind of brush it and see how the volume of hair looks. Hopefully this, whatever they dyed it with, isn't gonna come off. It shouldn't, it's just water, so. I don't know. It's looking like it's bleeding a little bit with just water. So be careful of that. That could have been something on the brush already, but let me try it now. I think it's coming off of here a little bit. Just be careful. So his hair is kind of like just going back. Again, we can use the, yeah, my fingers are getting a little green on them. So just watch it around here. Again, once it's dry, it's probably fine. But we're just kind of styling it a little bit. Poofing it up a little bit right there. Oops. Sorry guys, let me set this back down. Just had to check that green. Where it's coming from off my brush here. So yeah, I think this hair color is gonna work pretty well. I'm just gonna keep doing a couple more rows, working my way up. And then I'm gonna leave some of this because I'm gonna maybe weave into it. I'll show you guys that, but I'm just gonna fill in a couple more rows and then I'll be back. Alright, for the side, I'm just gonna try to weave a few in since it was kind of slicked back there. I'm gonna weave that and kind of carefully place some into the spots and then probably paint it a little bit just to match. So I'll just take a few hairs about the length, same length, half an inch, 3/4 of an inch maybe. Cut that off at that length and then just apply a little glue to the end there. Same way, but this time I'll take it up and usually shape it into a small point like so. Take the silicone clay shaper and then I will place it use that to spread it. And you can also lick your finger and then just tap it once. Okay, now kind of look at that from the side. See how the length is. That's looking good. Kind of doing the messy look. Okay, so that's how I'm gonna kind of weave those into the side like that. And then my next row, I just went off from the side I just placed here, and we're just going across. So it's gonna keep the hair thinner, but it's also how his hair was cut in the movie, kind of layered like that. So it'll also save you some hair. I mean, you can't cover every inch of the head. You just gotta do thinner patches, but this is gonna cover the next row and not give us too much volume in the back. This one, split it up. You go about here. And for the pieces you're weaving in on the side, you want to use less hair. This will be the one we use on the side. Just arrange them the right lengths. Cut them off. Again, apply our glue and then kind of shape it to a point. And you can trim off any extra. Use our silicone shaper. Just apply this right here. Again, look at it from the front, looking good. Do another weave in one to show you guys. We're gonna try to blend the sculpted in real hair. Just take a little bit. A little piece of glue right there. All right. And then you can lick your finger, tamp it down. do about 4 clumps, 4 to 5. Same 1/2 inch length. Another one, same way. Get it from the front. Just messing with the styling just a little bit. I'm gonna add a piece right here. Just to give us that hump, and then that hump kind of how his hair was in the scene I'm going for. And then also when we add some more hair to the sides, that'll help too. Alright, so I just applied some hair up to here. And you could go ahead and paint over and kind of weave it in, but I think I'm going to use some rocket glue and just a little bit of hair and weave that in. And we'll comb that. around the ear. Might take it and glue it and then bring the strands over. We'll just see. But for now, we're just gonna keep on going up, working our way to the front hairline, and then do the same thing. We'll stop around there and then rocket glue to fill it in. So same way we've been going. As far as the hair and the I don't think we're gonna switch over to the cut-off pieces yet for the straight hair. Just keep using the curly pieces. We'll go about right here. There's like a little section in there. We'll remove it, move on to the next piece, same length. Do another 1/2 inch piece right in this spot. Then I'm just going to work my way up to the hairline. Then I'll stop there and show you guys how I do the rocket glue on it. Alright, for the top I'm going to be going back to the straighter pieces because the top of the hair is straighter than the bottom. So same way, just using those pieces that I cut off earlier, in my pile that I set aside. I'm going to be taking those. And weaving them into the front is about, so far away. Give me enough to cover like so. And there's some that'll have like a little curl on the end. They just have a slight curl in it, and that's what we're looking for the top. So trim them off the same length. Apply your glue. Go ahead and lick your finger, and then you can smear it. You let it dry, you'll be good. You won't have any discoloration or anything. That piece is a little short. There you go. See, this one's cut off, but it still has like a little bit of curl to it. You can see that. We'll work our way towards the front like that with these straight pieces. So now we're going to switch to the rocket glue for the hairline and combining the hair up to the edges, and we will probably then paint the hair on the sideburns just a little darker to match. Also try lighten this up, and I'm probably going to slick this back, slick these down, or slick these back and then glue them down. Have the hair falling down over it. So we'll get started. We'll put out a little bit of rocket glue, just a little puddle, small drop down, and then we'll take our toothpick, dip it in the rocket glue, and then we'll work our way up. Just go right there. Take a little piece. Just want it about that long. That's the length, and then we'll just cut that off. And then use a different toothpick. Lick the ends of the hairs, kind of arrange them, then trim them off. I'm going to just take that, put it down into the glue, let that dry. Put a little bit more glue. Work some of these extra hairs into it. And then for the shine of the glue, we'll use some of this liquid ultra matte stuff. Alright, grab another piece. switch out toothpicks. That one got too much glue on it. So let's work our way up the side. Just gonna keep on doing this same thing. Work my way around the front and the other side. Then I'll come back and whenever I glue these back and style it. And then we might work on the color too. Maybe lightening up the hair color just a little bit. So I'll be right back. Alright, I'm gonna try to get a good shot of the hairline, so I just went up to about here and giving that time to dry, working my way back up the other side. Just do maybe 3 millimeters or so. And this is from the leftover pelt that I'm cutting off the extra like long straighter pieces that are left after the tips were cut off. And the tips I still have a lot left from one pelt, so this ended up using a lot less hair than I was thinking. So again, lick the ends of the hair, and now I'm taking these tweezers like this, and coming in and dropping the hair in where I need it, and then I'll take a fresh toothpick or an end that hasn't been used and kind of work the hair into the position that the sculpted hair is flowing in. And then I'll do another one. We'll give this time to dry all over for like an hour, and then wet it and brush it and style it. Let me make sure it's on camera. We'll just apply a little bit right here. I mean, the hair's not totally straight, it's got a little wave to it, which is what we want. Once it leaves the hairline, then it gets wavier as it goes back. Do a little bit more glue. This piece is a little wider than that. Switch to a toothpick. Same thing. Just get the hairs flowing in that direction. The sculpted hair is. You can come back with the X-Acto and cut off the extras. And then touch it up with some paint, and I'll show you guys that part. Alright, last piece. Alright, now the last piece. And we can come back once this dries and we brush it and see if we lost any hairs, and come in and apply smaller groups of just maybe 3 to 4 hairs or something to fill in anything we need to. There'll be a few spots. I'm sure that'll lose some of this. Alright guys, I'm gonna let that dry. We'll come back and finish up. I can already see a few spots that'll need some more glue. And a couple more hairs. But I'll let this dry. We'll style it and then see what we need to do. Alright, I've let it dry. Now we're just gonna spray it a little bit. Comb it back. See if we need to add any more hair or glue in any places. And then we're gonna touch up the front hairline. If any paint's needed to blend it, or any more hair, we'll be adding that. I'm going to take our X-Acto and come along and slightly press it. I'm not trying to saw into the head too much, just trim the loose hairs away. It works best with a really sharp, fresh blade, but this one's not too bad. Couple short hairs. I'm gonna remove. Alright, so once you've cleaned all that up, So I cleaned up all the loose hairs. Just mix up a little paint to blend the hairline and the hair together. We're just going to be using some Americana Hauser dark green and maybe a little bit of black mixed with that. Mix that black with a little bit of black leather paint. Angelus black is the color. Use a little bit of water. Alright, and then take a small brush. We'll just come in and touch up any spots that are showing glue or just need to be darker to match. Touch up sideburns. Excuse me. Touch up the sideburns. That'll blend those a little bit better. Sometimes the glue dries a little white when you lick it and for the hairs, so get a smaller brush. Alright, That's looking good, that side. Just move on to the hairline. Alright, I'm gonna let that dry. Might add a few hairs just using rocket glue in a few places, just like right here to cover the glue marks. Maybe a little in the front, and the rest I think will be fine if I just use some of this ultra matte on it. So I'm just gonna do that, and then we'll style it. See what we can do about lightening the color, maybe just a bit, maybe airbrush spray some lighter green on it, and then comb it. Added a few more strands in any spots that were missing, letting those dry. And while I'm waiting, I'm just going to take the side hair, kind of brush it back, style it how I want, and then we're just gonna put a little bit of rocket glue to keep it where we want. Just gonna trim off a little bit of this. Alright, stick it back. And then we're just taking a toothpick with a little bit of rocket glue on it. We're gonna brush that through that hair. Like so. And that'll keep it pinned back. And then we can style the other hair over it. So, same thing on this side. I put a little bit right here. Might go ahead and do a little bit more. Alright, and then we'll kind of style the hair down over that. And we'll be good to go. Alright, I just kind of slicked it back a little bit. Now I'm going to mix up, taking the little 2-ounce cup, just mix a little bit of water and an equal amount of floor polish. And this will just kind of maybe about half the amount of polish. And then we're going to apply this with a brush, probably a larger brush. Mix that up a little bit. And we're just going to come in. Start brushing it through. Try to get all the way to the bottoms. All the way to the roots, I guess I should say. Sorry, if you see anything in the hair, I think there's a little piece of something in there. Just going to grab it out now. keep working on the back. Again, trying to brush it all the way through. And then we'll comb it and let it dry. And then we can always apply more. We'll see how it dries, if we have to add any, if we're gonna try to add any color to it, any lighter green with an airbrush or something. I'll have to see. I haven't decided yet. You kind of take your finger and hold it up behind here and get through all these back kind of strands. And then you can kind of style it with that. That to be kind of curling out. I use these little toothpick things, and that'll kind of help you to break up any strands that are clumping together or anything. So just kind of use the toothpick end, kind of curl this out. Kind of use it to comb the hair too. It combs a little bit tighter than the toothbrush will. I'm going to trim this piece off a little bit. I'm just trying to trim the end into like a triangle type shape. I keep setting those things. Brush some more of that into the hair. Here it is. And then you can take your scissors and trim off any real long hairs. Just gonna fluff that up, and you can take this and kind of curl it how you want it to. Curling this way under itself. Okay, we glue, just wait for the glue to dry a little bit more, and then I'll apply some Ultra Matte to it. Kind of brush this out just to give it some more thickness to it, so the hair is not so thin looking. But I think we're looking pretty spot on. Go ahead and take this and touch up any spots that I think need some more. Check on it from the front. This won't dry like super stiff, but it'll stiffen the hair up enough, and if it ever changes, like you'll see like a white powdery, you can just get it wet again and it'll be fine. So it's coming off a little darker green than it is in person, but as far as the light, I think it looks pretty good. So I'll come back and we're gonna matte the hairline glue, and then we'll be pretty much done. Alright, and for the hair color, I mixed in the same mix, I just added some lighter green. It is Folk Art Grass Green. So I'm gonna just brush that in, give it some lighter green highlights. So just brush it in, and then you can take the toothpick and brush through it. You could use airbrush, but it kind of blows the hair around as you're doing it. Maybe after this, once it's set pretty good, that we can airbrush it a bit. We'll see. So I'm just gonna keep brushing this in, lighten it up a little bit. It's tough finding that green color that he has in the movie. Next time I'm gonna have to try dyeing some blonde or something, because he can't get it with the darker colors. I know in the movie he has dark hair, but in reality you can't go from a dark to a real vibrant green. Like Jared Leto dyed his hair blonde first, and then green. So alright, I'm gonna keep doing this, and when I come back, then we'll see how it looks, and might have to airbrush some. So there's how green it is now. We'll see when I'm done how green it looks.